Hey everyone, GrimjawXC here, bringing you a second tutorial for League of Legends. Just like the first tutorial I did, this is going to be a general guide on how to play League of Legends and be a better gamer. The first tutorial we did was about farming. That was mainly all that we did then, and this one we're going to be talking about pulling and pushing a lane. Now, the reason we're not in a video game right now is because pushing and pulling a lane is a lot more complicated than farming, and there are really good instances that I want to use, but I need to define everything first. So, pushing and pulling a lane. Pushing is very simple. It's probably the easiest thing to do. We all do it by accident most of the time. We don't even realize we're doing it until we realize that we are almost to their base and there's no one else around to help save us for when the other team gets, wants to get the free kill. So we're going to be doing pushing first, and then we're also going to throw overextending in during the mix, and then we'll hop into a game, and I'll show you some good tactics to push and pull, when to push, when to pull, and how to push and how to pull. So we'll start off with pushing and pulling a lane. Now, when the minions spawn, they spawn right at the top, and then they travel all the way down to the middle of the lane, or close to the middle of the lane. Pushing a lane is forcing your minions closer to the enemy turrets. Right? That's it. It's simple. How you manage this is by auto attacking extra minions. So instead of like what we talked about last week, instead of waiting for the other minions to knock the health down of the one minion you're going to hit to where you hit it and you'll get the kill, you attack one of the back minions. You attack one of the back minions, and then you go and get a minion killed. Then you go back to the back minion, and you get that killed. You're farming, but you're doing auto attacks, and you're killing minions faster than you would just getting the last hits. And that pushes a lane by itself. Another way of pushing a lane is using your skills, using your skills to farm the lane faster than your opponent. So that would be like Caitlyn using her auto attack, and then using her Piltover, which is the blade thing that shoots out and it does tons of damage to everyone if you don't get out of the way. That thing, it's using that in addition to her auto attacks. With Malzahar, it's using his, I can't remember what the name of it is right now, the purple glowy thing that does damage over time. Moose the next minion, the moose the next minion, the moose the next minion. It's Morgana's Tormented Soil, it's Heimer's turrets. All these different things push a lane. Pulling a lane is the opposite. Pulling a lane is allowing your minions to be pushed towards your turret. Now, there's a few different reasons for it, and one of the reasons for pulling your lane is because you're overextended. Now, what overextending means is you are too far away from a turret or any help that if you get stunned or snared or suppressed, you will most likely die. And it's really easy to get overextended. It really is. And knowing when to overextend, when not to, is really a judgment call. But overextending basically means whenever there's an opponent out that's missing, so if they have a jungler and you're pressed up against the enemy turret, you're overextended. Just like that. Like in the very beginning of the game, if they have like a jungling Shaco, yeah, and you're pushing the lane, you're right up against bottom turret, you're overextended because Shaco can use his invisible jump and get right behind you, drop a Jack in the Box, and fear both of you, the person you're laning with and you, and bottom will get the kill. And that's brutal, because now bottom lane has an advantage over you in experience and gold. So you see the risk of overextending. You may do damage to the turret, and that's good. You want to do damage to turrets, but you don't want to give up experience. You don't want to give up gold, and you want to make it so that your jungler, if you have one, can come and gank for you, or can't come and gank for you. Because I know if some of you have tried ganking, I know a lot of people try ganking, and it's unsuccessful a lot of times, and it's unsuccessful in securing a kill most of the time because the enemy isn't overextended, and that's because the person that's laning up there with the person you're trying to gank, or laying against the person you're trying to gank, isn't pulling the lane as well as they should, isn't baiting them as well as they should, and so on and so forth. So it's much harder to secure a kill when the enemy is in the middle of the lane, or even closer to their turret, than it is when they're closer to your turret. You see, because then they run back to their turret and they're protected, unless you can tower dive, and you can't tower dive at early levels. So it's pushing and pulling are very good ways to help dominate a lane, honestly, because you force the opponents to overextend, and then it's an easy gank. You can gank, your jungler can gank that lane before level 6. And I'm sorry if I'm using gank and you don't know what gank means. It simply means taking your enemies by surprise from the jungle or from a place where they don't expect. So, like for bottom lane, it's coming from the river, coming around them and using your stun, also CC. That's any snare, suppress, or silence, or slow. So that's all that. Now, why would you push a lane? Last time we were talking about farming, we said I told you that turrets can be a bad thing, and that they can steal your gold. And that's true. They can steal your gold by making you unable to get your gold, because early levels, a lot of characters, unless you're an AD carry, if you're AP, it's really hard to do this. I know I have problems doing this with Orianna before like level 5, level 6, but the turret will hit the melee minions twice, and then you can hit the melee minion and you get the kill. And that doesn't work with every champion. It really doesn't. You have to know what the HP they need to be at in order for you to secure that kill on the minion. And if the turret doesn't knock them to that level, you need to plan for that. You need to auto attack them once, let the turret do its thing, and then sweep up the kill. Otherwise, the turret will be stealing, let's see here, 22 times 3, 66 gold from the melee guys, and then 16 times 3, 48. So that's over 100 gold that your turret will steal if you don't get any of the gold. Now, that's for melee guys, melee minions. Caster minions are weaker. They have less. I don't know if they have less health. I haven't actually really looked at it all that closely. I'm pretty sure they do. I'm pretty sure they have less health because it takes about 1.5 tower hits to kill a caster minion. So with caster minions, you really early levels, you'll probably lose it. Even when you get, to level 5, level 6, that magic number where you're killing the melee minions after the 2 turret hits, with the caster minion, you need to hit the caster minion once, let the turret hit it once, and then you hit it once. and that's a lot of that's quick reaction times on targeting the right minion that the turret is targeting, and then staying on it and keeping that up, and watching the enemy champions, because the enemy champions, if they have range, they can harass you, they can do damage, and they can slowly eat away at your life and force you to go back, which makes you lose gold and experience. So that's one reason why you'd push the lane, to force the people you're laning up against to not get any minion kills. But you put yourself at a risk when you do that. So the only real time you would do that is when you force the enemy champions back. Either you killed them, or you brought them to such low health that if they stay, they're gonna die, and so they have no choice but to be. So you push your minions up to the turret, so the turret kills all of your minions, so that the enemy champions, when they come back, don't have a chance to get any farm. And then you just hit UB, and then you buy, and then you come back. When you come back, by the time you come back, you should be able to make it there before the minions get to that wave. If you push hard and fast, that's the key. You've got to push hard, and you got to push fast if they're in the middle of the lane, or if you're towards your turret. You gotta push it really hard. Both champions have to be able to push, or at least do something. And most champions can. I know Sona can. She can do stuff. Soraka can. She can do stuff. So if you're AD carry with the support, your support has to help you push the lane, so that you can both go back and buy, get your items, and then come back, and you'll be at an advantage, because you'll have one minion wave of gold more than the enemies, plus a minion wave of experience more than your enemy champions. And it's League of Legends is really a game about little advantages. It really is. I mean, it's getting items faster than the other opponent. It's getting a level up faster than the opponent. For example, if you have an Ahri in mid, alright, and the jungler ganks mid almost immediately, that puts and either gets the kill or forces them back. That's huge, and it's huge because Ahri is one of those champions that whenever she has a level advantage, she will rock your face. Oh, she's brutal when she has a level advantage. Key, level advantage. She will rock your face all the time. So if you get ganked in mid with an Ahri, hint hint, it's a legitimate strategy. Be prepared for it. And usually the jungler would gank from the blue buff. So if you're one of the best ways to counter that is, let's say you're going up against your blue side and you're going up against purple. Now purple's blue buff is right over here. Now the jungler is going to come from this side on your lane. It's going to come from this way. So instead of standing on this side, or coming in from mirrors, stand away from the side that they're going to come from. So if they come from your right, stand towards the left of the lane. That'll give you a little bit of an advantage, a little bit of a chance to make it closer to your turret than you would if you were, on the right side where the jungler is going to come from. So back to my original point, Ahri needs if she gets a little bit of a level advantage, she will rock your face, and it snowballs from that point on. Whenever she levels up faster than you, she'll use her range taunt, get